All right, so today, I was trying to, I hit the beat on the drop. Anyway, I'm proud of myself for that. I'm trying to do proper YouTube entrance. We are playing Hexia live on stream today. I got a review code from the developers for this game. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Just to let you guys know, this is an RTS style game that you pretty much just make decisions. If you guys have ever seen the game Rain, very similar. Hexia, let's get into it. We're gonna name our kingdom. Yo, what's up, John Attack? How you doing, bud? And there is gonna be a full story. This is just a beta test, which is really exciting. So pretty excited about that. So we're gonna go with Penguin Central. Our lion. There's no penguin as a emblem. I think we'll go for magic. Let's just start it up. So I will say this game's super duper cool. Just to read through the Eternal Realm. Our goal is to expand our territory to make our kingdom the largest and most prosperous ever. A full story for the campaign will come out soon. We're going to use hexens to create new tiles and build improvements. And favor is how happy and how healthy our kingdom is. If it drops below 0, game ends. So we have to beware of that stuff. Favor is a currency they're still working on and increasing and stuff like that. So we basically start off, we have this little castle just right there. And then we have some hexen. We buy our first couple areas. And we can actually put stuff in there, so we're actually gaining favor and other stuff every single day. So
I like the art style a lot.
The art style is good. I like to play on super fast speed though, because it's your boy, you know, he's doing the stuff that he can do. But it gives us time to get more stuff. And I've actually found that having mountains is the most prosperous thing so far for your kingdom. It's actually super awesome. I'm glad about those because they you get a lot of stuff for them, which is nice. But we want to get ourselves some areas, start ourselves a couple small things, and every new area we get some more favor, and we can get more hexen on these areas based on that. So like this right here, I can upgrade to get, it's cost me no favor, but I get 3 hexen a day. I also think that might be a little bit of a bug that it still takes my stuff down, so I'm not sure exactly why that is. All right, so during the harvest period, the farmers have obtained a truly abundant harvest. The kingdom is blessed with fertility. We can keep all the tithes collected and fill the pantries of the castle, or give back a part of it to the people to make the commons truly happy with such a magnanimous and merciful ruler as yourself. I'm fine. I like being a nice ruler, and I'm sure I could be a jerk if I wanted to. But we're going to distribute the harvest, and what that did is that gave us 30 favor, which is super nice. So we distributed that out and helped out, and it was good. And then pretty much every day you just get more and more hexen and more favor based on whatever your numbers are. So if I want to have more, I can basically make more around my kingdom to get more favor, and then I can get hexen based on that. But there are some things that their maintenance do cost favor. So if I want to get this, like it's going to cost me 2 favor, but I get 12 hexen a day. So I could do that, and it's going to cost me, as up here we saw, my favor went down by 2, but I could also get rid of one of these manors, and I'm still getting a lot of hexen. I'm getting 20 hexen a day. But it helps fix my favor and keep that back up and going, which is really nice. So
Cool.
I like stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty nice way to go about it, because you can just build up your entire area. Super chill.
Super chill.
Right.
All the time.
The population inside the castle and in the surrounding villages is thriving. New coalitions, associations, and guilds are forming and consolidating, bringing economic, social, and cultural advancement into the life of our kingdom. With already such solid foundations, this is an opportunity that can be seized and exploited. And you can decide to give priority, support, and resources to some of these guilds and associations to allow rapid and assured development. To whom would the support of the crown be given? Prioritize the guilds of merchants and geomancers. Prioritize civil, cultural, and religious development. So the geomancers, basically the lore behind this game is that you're in the clouds, and the geomancers bring up the tiles, the hexils, as they come on up. So keeping them happy is a good thing because you get more stuff based off that. You also think of the social aspect of having the civic and cultures being developed, which is really good too. I would worry that the guilds of merchants might try to exploit it some, but I would also be worried that there might be some exploitation in the religious development as well. So it's kind of a toss-up and a 50-50 on what would be best. Geomancers might be better to support just because they're the ones who build the kingdom. So it's stuff like that, but you get to make some of those decisions. So I'm going to go with the Geomancers. We gained a lot of Hexen. We didn't gain any favor for it. But we got, hey, guilds are an integral part of society, performing an extremely important task, that of training and educating the new generation while protecting the entire category of wizards and merchants. But by supporting the already formed guilds, we could provide a solid foundation for anyone who wants to make the kingdom prosper economically, allowing us to earn a lot in the long term. And so that's what we did. And so again, I can get another mine, which gives me more Hexen per day, for the cost of 2 favor per day. But that's okay, because we can get a couple areas and we're building up a lot very quickly, which is nice. We can also do some fishing, like we can make small areas and stuff like that too. It's a fun little game. So merchants. A merchant caravan shows up at your castle. They wear flamboyant and unusual clothing, a clear factor indicating their derivation from a foreign kingdom. They must have gone through a rift that we are not yet aware of, and that can be worrying. But the merchants in question claim to be here only to trade. So do we want to allow them to trade, or do we want to ask them about the rift? I think that the best thing for us would honestly be asking them about the rift, because that can be a very big thing and actually be super helpful for us on the day-to-day, and could actually do a lot. So we ask them about that. You try to question the foreign merchants about their point of entry. They answer you, but they remain incredibly vague and elusive. Apparently they don't want to miss the opportunity to create a profitable trade route with our lands. So I can either send them away or allow them to trade. I haven't had anything terrible happen to me yet. I haven't played enough of the game to have something terrible happen, so
Okay.
I'm completely fine with trade. I have no problem. I have no issue with that.
I think trading's fine though.
So we'll say it seems a little sussy, but we're gonna allow them for trade. We might worry about the rift later. Leaving merchants the chance to do their job is more important at the moment. Trade is never bad for the kingdom's economy, and we got a bunch of Hexen as well, which will let us build a couple of areas and actually expand, which is good for us. That helps us to expand. If we get to expand, we get to earn more Hexen, we get to do more things with it.
True.
And I'm down to 2 a day because there's actually a gang of thugs that have been lurking about. And so they're robbing travelers and stuff, which actually kills your favor. So you have to actually wait until you have the Hexen to deal with it. So like now I have the Hexen, I have to wait until I have 171 to deal with it. And so like you have things like that pop up too, which is super neat because it's also, they're taking a certain amount of my Hexen as well. So like my Hexen is down a massive amount just because I have some terrible dudes. All right, Drake Fisherman. After the latest expansion of our territory, the Geomancer in charge of the Mending Rite joined a small island to the kingdom. This is populated by a tiny village where people survive with the dangerous practice of fishing in the Sea of Clouds. Drake fishermen are wary, asking only to be left alone so that they can continue their life on the edge of the kingdom without being disturbed. I'm perfectly fine with leaving them alone. I have never had a problem with that. Let it live and let live.
Live and let live. That's what I've always said.
I'm a very live and let live. So leave them where they are. We gain some favor. Again, surprised to see them, but no harm in letting their little village stay. And their custom stay the way they were. So
yeah.
And we're almost to the amount of money we need to freaking deal with these bandits so we can make more money. So we intervened. And now it removed a lot of our money, but we just went back on up to getting a lot more stuff. This isn't quite a MOBA. Dauntless, a small group of scouts sought an audience in your court. They claim to have found a way to get to the epicenter of the ancient catastrophe. They talk about finding out what actually happened to our lands, but the point of speech that catches your attention the most is about the riches that can be found in an elusive, legendary temple that was at the center of it all. They're asking you for resources to help them on this dangerous and perhaps a little crazy of a journey. Give them what they ask for, give them less, don't give them anything. I mean, I think that can pay off. I think doing stuff like that, and I think that adventuring is a very good idea. I've really like a lot of the choices they've given me. I'm like very like pro the people. I'm gonna give them what they asked for. We lose 500 hexen, which is a lot of hexen. If what they say is true, the discovery that can be made could change a lot, and the journey will be difficult. This is the very reason we need to have them do that. So, and yeah, it's cool because our kingdom is moving around and stuff. One thing I would like is to be able to move this with my right mouse key, because I can't. I can like move up to the very top or bottom of the board to do things, but that's like a little extra in my opinion. All right. So, it has occurred to you that a territorial feud between two local nobles is currently underway. It seems there was a passage of a land property of significant size, which the first nobleman would have inherited from a distant dead relative. The family of the opposing noble instead accuses the first of having lied and falsified the real succession, which apparently belongs to them by right. The two families in question have always been historical rivals, and this is not the first time such bickering has occurred. The reported facts are confused and nebulous. It is not known who is really right or wrong. It is very likely that both have put in place some sort of subterfuge to discredit their opponents or to take advantage their position. You can choose to take the time and resources to clarify the issue and resolve it, or to leave things as they are in the hope that everything will work itself out. So there's definitely an interesting aspect with this, because if you take action, then you're getting involved in whatever they're doing. You're getting involved in just their basic life stuff. If you don't intervene, then it's also just saying that people can squabble, and that basically you're not even setting up anything like a court system, as well as talking about these things and making sure that your area is running fine. So I think that taking action on this one is even better, because then you're showing that you can have an investigation set up about this, and then actually have it taken care of, and basically like a court of law, which I think is not a bad thing and can be beneficial no matter what. So I'm going to take action. I removed no hexen. Awesome. All this sounds strange to you, the way both families have tried to downplay and put it all in silence, turning it into a kind of personal Cold War that has only come to your attention now. It makes you even more suspicious. You mobilize a court magician and instruct him to thoroughly investigate what happened. The results do not surprise you. Neither family was entitled to the property. It was a plan worked out in a collaboration to obtain more land and prestige, then backfired against the second family, which was excluded when the first took all the loot with a decisive coup. Both families are sanctioned and brought back to order, and the lands are seized by the crown. And that's how you do that, boys and girls. Oh, that's cool. Libraries show the cost of everything. That's cool to have those little kingdom upgrades. People humming the streets cheerfully. The day of the Harvest Festival is coming. It is a much-loved occasion, especially by the population, where the evening is spent dancing, singing, and drinking. In honor of the harvest that was obtained in the year, and with the hope that the next one will be good or even better. We can let the farmers have fun as it suits them, or we can spend some resources to organize a festival for the whole kingdom and make the population truly satisfied and enthusiastic. In all honesty, I don't really feel like there's much of a choice here. Organize a festival. I think that's a very beneficial thing to the whole kingdom, to create happiness with the entire kingdom. Which I gained favor and I lost some hexen, but losing some hexen really isn't that big of a deal.
Nah, because you gotta spend hexen to make hexen, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I've always said that about hexen. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, he has. He's always said that about hexen. You know, you can just do that. I like it. I like that stuff. Each night a pack of ferocious cloakers comes... Cloakers? Maybe it's supposed to be cloakers. Dangerously close to our settlement. It's very strange behavior for this type of beast, which usually stay away from civilization, intent on fishing their prey from the edges of the territory. They don't seem to be afraid of fire, or the mere presence of civilization. Could it be pack bewitched by the coven? the fact that people are terrified when they hear from the top doors. So we'll get that taken care of the next day, because that's just a little bit of hexing and boom. So although these cloakers show abnormal behavior, they are not frightened by fire or the normal circumstances in which an animal would not usually push themselves. They're still animals. You send a handful of hunters, specifically chosen from among the most experienced of the court, and after only a few nights of work, the skins of the beasts are shown and displayed as trophies. People can go back to sleep peacefully for now. For now.
Bye for now.
Oh, hey, do I want to establish a city militia? I have yet to really look at a decision and be like, no, we shouldn't do that. Because where I know a militia is going to cost money, having a group of soldiers that can go out and take care of problems like those cloakers and stuff like that is a big deal. And with a militia, it's very like volunteer and stuff like that. So I don't ever really see a bad thing of doing that because I gain favor and yeah, I lose some hexen. And this is pretty much the game. Like I don't have much. There's not much more to it. It's just this kind of stuff. It's really nice. And
yeah.
I look forward to seeing what they do to build it up and see more with this game because it's really cool being able to build and see these things grow and how quickly you can do things. I think for me, a couple of things I would really like to see to make this game a little bit better would be able to right click and drag to move my map around. I'd also like to see more fast forward options. So that way you can do things a little bit quicker. And then it seems like some of the areas that cost your favor per day, even when they say they don't cost anything per day. So like having a farm, it's supposed to be 0 maintenance of your favor per day. But if I click this, then my favor goes down by 1, which is kind of a problem, especially early game because those are, pretty like low stuff that you're trying to get to actually make it better for you. But those are really the only things I've seen with the game that I have a problem with at all.
Everything else is really good.
Everything else is really cool. Little story's nice, like a marine obelisk. The tip of a huge black stone pillar suddenly emerged from the brackish waters of your kingdom. Nobody knows where this strange monument means, what it means, and why it's appearing in the sea over the course of one night. One thing is certain, confirmed by the ships passing by near the obelisk, is that it seems to be poisoning the water with its very presence. The sea becoming more and more black around the obelisk, the fish die, and the patch seems to expand more every day. It's not clear to what extent causes this effect, but one thing is certain, that strange construction cannot remain undisturbed for much longer. It costs $4.79. I have to ignore it for a day so I can then take it out. Which then I get more favor, which is nice. And although the poisoning effect is dictated by still unknown causes, addressing both the hydromancers and the geomancers of the kingdom, you've come to the conclusion that the most effective attempt to stop this process is to destroy the obelisk directly. You can equip a warship and send it to the designated location. Fortunately, the structure does not seem tougher than any other stone construction. And now a few shots of cannons are enough to break it and make it sink. Immediately after the obelisk falls, the effect of the poison seems to gradually dissipate. With the passing of days, the sea slowly returns to its original state. Yeah, those are my only things that I've said about the game that I think could be better.
Yeah, but everything's pretty good,
if something costs 0, I think it should cost 0 to have.
That's fair.
Or have it say it costs 1, which is fine. Like having a farm, yeah, it should cost some favor to have a farm. I have no problem with that. I don't think there's a problem with that at all. As things continue to go on, I will continue to probably check it out and see what updates I can and let you guys know. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, please hit that like button or that comment button or that subscribe button. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.
Au revoir.